Hello and welcome to episode 86 of the Parapod. You're here with your hosts, Mark and Owen.
Hello there.
As always, we did have a brief intermission last week.
Just a quickie.
A forced intermission. I apologise to everybody for that. That was completely my fault. And it won't happen again, most likely.
It's the second time it's happened, Mark.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm just letting the team down.
Just couldn't, but like we could record it. There is a way that we
could have done it, but like...
Can't be arsed, though.
Yeah.
Not recording on a weekend.
You don't want to force it, yeah.
This is a midweek podcast. Sometimes recording on a Monday, like today, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, start of the week, midweek, Monday, Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely a Wednesday.
Sometimes when we have a guest, a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's been a Thursday once, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, once or twice there was a Thursday, but that's a bit of a rush.
They're the worst edits.
We have to rush through the production. It's serious quagmire, technical quagmire.
Effort, just absolute effort.
Serious effort involved.
How you been?
I've been good. How are you?
I've been good. I've been alright.
How's life?
Been good. Busy, busy.
Busy.
Back to being busy.
We are all busy at the moment.
This is like this isn't 1st of May. That's an important month, isn't it? In terms of Irish folklore and shit.
Yeah. Bealtaine. Also Labour Day.
Sure, yeah.
May Day. International Workers' Day.
The banker.
You wouldn't know it though.
You wouldn't know it.
They suppressed the truth.
The banker.
The banker, yeah.
The sacred event.
Yeah, did you use your banker much?
Oh yeah, I actually did. Yeah, for the first time in like 2 years. It's like the first time that although Paddy's Day weekend was good. That was the last banker. That's a nice little gap between Paddy's Day and like May.
May, yeah.
You know,
but we only have one in May. I thought we had two. We have to wait till June till the next one.
Yeah, I've got holidays booked off in June, so.
I've Primavera booked off.
Same.
Yeah.
You're on the first weekend, aren't you?
Yeah, first weekend.
Second weekend. If you see us at Primavera, come up and say hi.
Yeah, come up and say hi, buy us a pint, please.
Support us on Patreon.
Yeah, come on, guys.
That's like the way that like Blind Boy always promotes his Patreon. It's just like, could you buy me a pint? Like, could you send us amount of money for a pint? If not, would you buy us a cup of coffee? Like,
yeah, the
€3, €5 amount. No. It's
yeah.
a nice way to sell it.
Yeah, surely. Would no one listening to this buy us a pint or coffee?
Nah, definitely not.
We're not sound enough.
No, not at all.
But yeah, no, it's been grand though. Yeah, busy. But
we did a nice little thing last weekend though.
We did indeed. We really used our weekend last week.
Which wasn't a banker, but last weekend.
It was just a weekend. You got to use your weekend as well.
Went to go see a movie marathon, didn't we?
We did. I've never been to a movie marathon
neither.
in my entire life. Yeah, we went to go see the Evil Dead marathon in the Lighthouse. It was, I have to say, it was great beyond my wildest expectations.
It was an experience.
It was a true experience. It was cinema verite in the most literal sense of the term.
Yeah, like it's one of those moments where I'm like, Jesus, I really do love going to the cinema.
Yeah. It's a real cinematic moment.
Especially with a film franchise like Evil Dead. Sam Raimi. I think it's just for the Sam Raimi what's the word I'm looking for? Festival kind of thing that they're doing at the moment.
Are they doing that, yeah?
Yeah, in the Lighthouse, and they're showing like
his stuff.
Yeah. I don't know how much of his stuff. It could just be Evil Dead. But
are they showing Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2? I have no idea.
That would have been a show.
I think it's just on the build up to Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So we got to go see Evil Dead. But absolutely raging. What was it, the Wednesday?
The Wednesday what?
The Wednesday beforehand, before we went to the marathon. They were showing Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
And they had the director for the upcoming Evil Dead film. I can't remember what it's called, but whatever the next upcoming film in the Evil Dead franchise, he was there to like MC it basically, and then who'd show up? But the star of like all the Evil Dead Evil Dead franchise, Bruce Campbell rocks up.
Yeah, showed up, and the midweek for the casuals. But
for
alas,
one of the films.
Yeah, for a single film, and then he was a complete no-show at the marathon at the weekend. Absolute no-show. You know, unless he was incognito and we just left early. But
maybe sitting beside me.
He could have been, yeah. The guy clapping at the end.
I get it, but I'm also like, oh, that's just what I made. Like, it was already a fantastic experience. But that just would have made it even better.
That would have been great if you like burst through the screen at the end,
like
you know?
Gremlins.
Yeah.
With a chainsaw in hand.
Yeah, he's like, no, and then a guy just stands up and starts quoting him.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, it's Bruce Campbell. That would have been great.
Would have been great.
Yeah, because I'd never seen any of the films before.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
When we were, because we watched the remake like a while back.
Mm.
I thought that you'd seen at least one of the Evil Dead films.
No, but my
Mad.
mom is always on about them. She really likes them, so I'd had a lot of good propaganda, pro Evil Dead propaganda in my head. So, but the remake was really I really enjoyed it beyond what I expected.
Yeah. And that's
it was
without
really good. Yeah,
and that's without even seeing like all the nods and references to the franchise.
Yeah, I didn't get any of them,
in the remake, like
Mm.
like in terms of like its references, they're really good references. They don't, they're not like in your face.
Yeah,
they're nice and subtle
Mm-hmm.
nods.
Yeah, pure, subtle nods.
But then the original franchise, because I think that I had talked about Army of Darkness a while back, but like only like briefly, because when I watched it, I was like, it's really good, but like there's not much to say about it when I watched it by myself in my room and you hadn't seen it, so we couldn't even talk about that much. I was like, there's not much to talk about in terms of that, but as a cinema experience,
Yeah, different level.
it's one of the best films I've ever seen.
Yeah. Honestly, the third one's my favorite one. I enjoyed that by far.
Same.
The most.
That and Evil Dead 2. Like, it's so interesting that the franchise, each film is really distinct and separate in a completely different genre to the one beforehand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're all very, very different. Yeah.
Mm.
Like I enjoyed the first one a lot, but
This is a good horror film.
It's just a good horror film. It has cheesy bits and has real comedic bits.
What's the man's name?
Scotty.
Scotty.
He's a real G.
Absolutely stole the show.
Yeah.
He didn't even know it was on.
Yeah, he wasn't even aware he's a player in the show. Yeah, but it's a good horror film. Really good 80s horror film.
Mm.
But like still a bit cheese and a bit comedic stuff. But it's mainly just scary. It's quite scary.
Gruesome.
Extremely gruesome as well.
Like that's. Say go on.
No, I was just gonna say the second one is just is like
it's more goofy,
leaning in the goofiness. Yeah.
Because that's definitely where I think that like the remake is a remake specifically of the first one.
Yeah.
Nothing else, just that first one.
Yeah, because there's no real comedy in the remake.
There's no especially there's not. I don't even think there's not meant to be comedy in the first Evil Dead. It's just like the acting's pretty bad.
Yeah, some of the acting's really bad.
Like it's a B movie with fantastic special effects and like just like fucked up. Like the deadites are like playful, evil little fuckers that make you mutilate your mates.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more playful. There is like some of it I think was intentional, but it's mainly just a horror film.
Yeah.
And it's trying to scare you. And it is pretty scary, you know. And the second one is just like it's not really scary at all. It's just really gruesome, really goofy, really cheese city, you know. You got the hand.
It's groovy is what it is.
It's groovy. Yeah.
It's a groovy movie.
Yeah, and you have that hand running around and stuff that I didn't really get. Because everyone was like, that's the hand. And I was like, the hand?
The hand is iconic.
I don't know anything about the hand, yeah.
The hand is iconic.
I didn't get the hand.
Especially, like, throughout the two films, the special effects are fantastic. Like, through all three of the films. But, like, the second one, that hand looks good. Like, when it's running around, it's like,
oh, yeah.
Like, when it's dragging Ash on the ground and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
that's just his hand.
It's just, he's just doing that. I think that, like, the films are really cool because they're proper B movies with like a low enough budget. I was like, this is like, especially the first one. This is what you can do with a low budget horror film. Back then, not so much now. I don't know.
Yeah, could you do that now?
I can't think of a really good low budget horror film. It Follows maybe, but like,
yeah, It Follows is actually would really be up there. But you couldn't really capitalize that.
No, the special effects department, like.
Yeah. No, yeah, actually, yeah. It does have that that element to it. But yeah, Evil Dead seems to be like gonna leave its own in that sense because it isn't part of that canon of 80s and 70s stuff, which is like iconic in the pure horror sense. You know, it wouldn't be ranked alongside like even the franchises in terms of like you think of Halloween, Friday 13th, more so Friday 13th for like cheesy, not necessarily good horror.
That's the difference between. That's a great comparison. Friday the 13th cheese and Evil Dead cheese.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2 cheese.
Yeah.
It's on a different level.
Yeah, it completely understands the assignment, what it's trying to do. Friday the 13th is just like, he's just trudging along. It's like the same path every single time.
Until he gets to the sixth one.
Yeah, apparently it changed.
Anything like that's still not as good as Evil Dead 2.
Oh no, not at all.
Nowhere
no.
near.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't. The second one was definitely my least favorite, but still, like, you know, it's its own thing. I can very much appreciate what it's trying to do, and it pulled it off very well.
I think that I go favorite, third, second favorite is the second one, and then the first film being like the first one, just because, or being the worst one, but like not by a massive margin at all. Just like that bit in the cinema when like Ash has to cut off his hand because the plot of Evil Dead, if people don't know,
yeah,
talk about this film for like 10 minutes and we haven't talked about the plot, is like this group of mates just go out to a cabin, they find a spooky book, they read from the spooky book, someone gets possessed, shenanigans ensue.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And there's a bit where like Ash gets bit by one of them. He's our main character, Bruce Campbell, and he has to cut off his hand. And when he cuts it off, he ends up replacing it with a chainsaw, essentially, and has a shotgun, and he just slices it in half. And like the camera just pans up to his face. I'm gonna try and download this clip and just put it up onto the podcast Instagram. And he just goes groovy.
Groovy.
And the crowd erupted.
Yeah, they went mental. Yeah, that was one of the best things about it. The crowd was. I hate sitting beside people in cinema. I hate packed cinemas. I hate anyone being in the cinema around me. You know, unless I've gone with them.
Because most of the time it's shit.
Yeah,
it's not like when you're all having a collective experience.
Yeah, most of them they're just in the way. You know? I don't want them to be there. But like in the marathon, it seemed to get more packed as it went along as well. So like more people showed up.
Yeah, I think
or maybe
so.
they got closer to the front or whatever. But it was great. It really added to the experience because people were interacting with the movie.
Yeah,
and everyone's sharing an experience rather than just having their own separate thing going on apart from each other, you know?
No phones. People just living in the moment.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And there was some lovely lighthouse cocktails as well, you know?
They went down a treat.
I got sweaty as well, Jesus.
Yeah, man. The place is roasting.
Yeah.
All these sweaty nerds watching these horror films.
Yeah.
What's amongst them like?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then we get the third film.
The third, by far, my favourite. Because I had no idea what the third one... Army of Darkness, I'm thinking... I don't know, Army of Zombies or something like that. Yeah. And it is.
It is, kind
but
of.
But like, yeah, I put into my family group chat that I was like at an Evil Dead marathon. And my mum texts back on, have they shown the one where he's in medieval England yet? And I was like, it was just like, I think it was like just after the second one. I was like, what? The one in medieval England? Because I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then the third one is about him going back in time and fighting the Evil Dead or the deadites or whatever in medieval England. It's completely different.
And he has
from the first
shotgun, chainsaw hand. He's a god. Like
he's fulfilling a prophecy that was
that's in the book.
It's in the book. Yeah. It's very good. By far my favorite.
It's
so well done.
Fucking funny.
So well done. Yeah,
like,
it's hilarious.
Like every one-liner hits. Every single one of them. Like the special effects again. All the stop motion at the end is incredible. It's so good.
Yeah, because it's 91, isn't it? It's like
91. Yeah,
early 90s. But the special effects are on point, and even just the technical approach to the film, like just the camera work, like basic professionalism of the production is
it's a good looking movie.
It's really well made. Like it's an extremely well made movie, and it's just like it's just class. It's amazing fun. You know, as you say,
it's
like
a fun movie.
Yeah, all the one-liners hit. It's a great like idea. The fact that they went through, they actually like executed the idea. Like it wasn't even, would it even have been in their heads when they're making the second one? Because the second one was what, 86, 87?
Yeah, something like that. So
it was like 4 years after the second one that they made the third one. I don't know if they even knew there was going to be a third one when they made it.
I don't know. Yeah, I think they did because because the second film,
it does kind of set it up.
The second film sets it up with him like getting sucked into a portal, and there's even like, I think there's like something in the second film about him, about there being something in
about
a book.
The prophecy. Yeah. The prophecy's in the second book. Or
the
second film. Yeah.
So like, I think they obviously did know. Okay, in the third film we're gonna go into medieval England, and like even the fact that like the second film, the first like 10 minutes or so is just a recap of what happened in the first film. Like I remember Bruce Campbell talking about it, and he was saying that if you were to watch them, if there was to be like an actual, someone has made this cut of the film, but Evil Dead 1 ends with Ash getting like possessed or like attacked by a demon, which is like this weird like first person ghost that moves really quickly through the woods and stuff like that, and it ends with him getting hit in the face with it. And then the second film, within like 5 minutes, it's a continuation of that scene. So you're meant to watch them, like watch the first film, skip the first like 5 minutes of the second film and then continue on from that point. And that's meant to be like that's like the canonical story.
It's nearly continuous, like.
And then you watch the third film and it picks up like 5 minutes after where the second film ends. So like definitely, and like if we think about like with horror films, like the way that horror films have to come up with like really stupid ways to have sequels.
Yeah.
Like really stupid concepts, like Jason will send him to space. Like, that happened. That comes out 10 years after this film.
Or the cults in Halloween.
Yeah,
it's
or
a
like
cult up behind it all along. Yeah.
Or there's everything about the Texas Chainsaw, the Illuminati and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and shit like that. Like, but like in this film, it's just like in this franchise where he goes back and in time, and it's like all goofy and stupid. It's still a good horror film as well.
Oh yeah,
like it's still a great horror franchise, even though it's really stupid. It's really dumb.
It's more of an action adventure, but it's still definitely within the same story. Yeah,
like horror adventure.
Yeah, it's like a capstone on the whole thing. It's just a great way to go out.
Sam Raimi, you king,
you legend. I haven't seen the others, the TV series or.
I've been watching a few episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm like 8 episodes in. It's good, but it's kind of weird because like Ash is the same character from the third film, like the exact same guy.
Does this pick up because at the end of the third film, it's like half established that the whole Evil Dead story is some mad exaggeration that Ash has made up as like a supervisor in a supermarket, and he's just some random guy. But then it's like. It just kind of ends on
them actually being real.
Yeah.
And them coming back and attacking them.
Is that like the premise of the TV series?
Like essentially, yes, but like it's kind of like if that like last little portion of Army of Darkness where like he's telling the story didn't happen, and instead it's 30 years later, 25 years later, whenever this thing came out, from Army of Darkness, like Bruce Campbell's like whatever age he is back then, like way older, 25 years older than what he was in Army of Darkness, and he's just the same guy, like he's the exact same person, but everything just kind of works out for him in a way that I feel like
what do you mean, like he's successful?
Like Ash really works in a stupid medieval village kind of setting. Like it's inherently like absurd, and like the way that he treats women and the way that he talks to people and stuff like that kind of makes sense because he's a really weird fish out of water in that situation. Yeah. But in Ash vs. Evil Dead, like he's in our world essentially. Like there's nothing else goofy going on except for him, but everything is still working out for him as if that like campiness to everything else wasn't there. Or was there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, you know the way that like, he bites... You know the way in the Army of Darkness where like he picks all the books?
He what?
He picks all the books to like pick up the right one in Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
And like it's goofy and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's funny, yeah.
That will kind of happen in the franchise, in the TV show. But like everything else, it's not like fantastical at all. It's really weird. It's a weird like tone going on. Where to the point where I'm expecting it to eventually like subvert what it's doing. But it's not happening yet.
Does it understand that, like...
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there's little hints to it and stuff like that where, like, Ash, he has, like, a mate in it called Pablo, and he's also got this girl called Angela, maybe? I don't know what her name is. And, like, he goes to Pablo at one stage, like, oh, once we're done this, we'll go off and we'll get churros. And then he goes, like, oh, not to be racist or anything, because, Pablo... is like
Latino.
He's Latino, and he just turns to us like, I'm not Mexican, and like Bruce just like slaps, or Ash just slaps him on the back and is like, that's the spirit, and just gets out the car. Yeah. But like it's not really subverting like the weird 80s character that he is, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's a weird one. It's still a good show. But I'm waiting for something like I'm waiting for some
kind of bomb to drop.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because there's 3 seasons of this thing. 3 seasons, 10 episodes, 25 minutes each.
3 seasons, 10 episodes. They're each 10 episodes.
Each 10 episodes, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. It's
25 minutes. No, cancelled. 3 seasons.
Cancelled.
That's it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So like, there's not even that much to consume. So I kind of feel like I'm not getting this. I think that's just what the show is. Having said that, it's still good. It's definitely my least favorite piece of like Evil Dead franchise.
Yeah.
But it's still good.
How would you rank the reboot within the franchise?
Better than Evil Dead 1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you put 3, 2,
Remake.
reboot, 1.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Ash
and
vs.
then
Evil
Evil Dead.
Oh, alright.
And like there's very little in between like Evil Dead 1 and the Evil Dead remake. Like they're very different things. I just enjoy Evil Dead remake just because I find it more impressive that it's a good 2000s remake.
Yeah, it actually is. Really stands out. Fede Alvarez. Fair play to you, man.
Fair play to you, man. But then the the TV show, it's gory as shit. Like there's like the last episode I watched, like the deadites were attacking, and this kid like got launched into a fan. Like this like 10-year-old, like he's like 12, 13. He gets launched into a fan and gets mangled, and it does not go away. Like, it is like a splatterfest every time one of the deadites show up.
Yeah.
And like that's fun. Those action scenes are really fun, and there's still like loads of cheesy bits. There's a bit where like Ash doesn't have his hand or his chainsaw hand, and someone throws him it, and like it spins in circles, and he latches onto him, and he lands on the ground. He picks up his shotgun, he just blows a deadite's head off and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like the action is still fun. It's just like when the action isn't there, Ash is a really weird character.
Yeah.
He's not a man that lives in the PC world that we live in today.
Yeah, I think that could be it, because there is a sequel coming out called Evil Dead Rise with Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell serving as executive producers, and an Irishman, a fellow Paddy, Lee Cronin directing. He's from Dublin.
Yup.
And he's going to direct the film. And it's coming out later in this year. But it doesn't have Ash is not in the film.
No,
he does not feature at all.
I think that's going to be the first time that's ever happened. He's actually in the remake.
Yeah,
he's
saying.
At the very end.
Yeah.
Where he just goes groovy. That's like it's just a little cameo type of thing.
But yeah, it's just, so this one's about a person called Ellie and Beth. So there's no Ash equivalent. But I think Fede Alvarez is also involved in some kind of way.
Whoa, shit.
So sorry, I didn't screw that title enough. But yeah, that's coming out later this year on HBO Max. So make sure to tune in and subscribe.
Damn, we don't have it. Oh, maybe it'll come out on Now TV.
It better.
Or Rakuten, or just other.
We'll just pirate it.
Other sites.
We'll just illegally obtain it.
Yeah,
and distribute it online.
It's not our fault. We can't get HBO Max. I will not be denied my content.
I will not be denied.
Yeah, did you watch anything else anyway? Besides,
I had a look
everything Evil Dead.
I had a look at this film called Berberian Sound Studio. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. Berberian, like the Berbers, like the North Africans.
No idea.
The Berbers, Berberian Sound Studio. I'm not sure why it's called that, but it's this British film from 2012, which I've heard only amazing things about. And it's directed by this guy called Peter Strickland, who has done quite a few things. He did none that we would have heard of, but he has done things which have been well received. And it's a horror film. It's a psychological horror film, kind of a Channel 4 production. So it was on all 4, and it was done by ITV and the UK Film Council. All these kind of things.
All these yuppies.
All these fellas in Britain, the British film industry, which are always
all these pretentious people. Essentially.
Yeah. So they have, but they still have some kind of like artistic pretensions about them, Yep. Whereas in America, you'd have like, you know how it is.
You know how it is.
Like
the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, the British have their own kind of thing going, and Berberian Sound Studio is one of those things where
like
it's
Censor.
Yeah, it's similar to Censor in a way,
Yeah.
or Censor's probably more similar to this. Was pretty inspired in some ways, because it's about a guy called Gilderoy, who is played by Toby Jones.
What a name. Toby Jones.
What do you mean?
Is that his name?
Yeah, Toby Jones. I thought you meant Gilderoy.
No, Toby Jones.
What's wrong with Toby Jones?
This is something. It sounds like a pirate or something.
Toby Jones. Yeah, well, this guy's in.
It's like Davy Jones' ship brother.
Yeah. He's in everything. Like this guy, he's in Captain America. He's in the Harry Potters. He's in the Hunger Games. He's in Doctor Who. You know him. If you look him up, and here on look. He's that guy.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
He's a guy with the kind of head.
Yeah, yeah. What the fuck is he? He's in everything.
He's in everything.
I don't know what he's in, but he's in everything.
Yeah, he's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'm
pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure he's in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
He is.
Yeah, he has to be in that.
He's in Frost Nixon. He's in Dad's Army. He's in all these things, and he's the lead in this. And he absolutely hits it out of the park.
I can imagine, man. He's a great actor.
He's an insanely good actor.
Yeah.
He's so good in this. Like, I don't even care about acting performances, but like it's noticeable how good he is. Like if you're paying attention, you know. Not to like an annoying extent that he's like overacting or anything. He's just really good in it.
He's just a solid actor.
Yeah, and he plays Gilderoy, who is a Foley artist. Foley art is the art of making sound design for films and stuff like that. So like when so if you're making a film and like you need, you know, even just things like footsteps and like ambient noise, like none of that is live recordings.
He's one of those people that like when I see that being done, I'm like, there's no way that's the way the films are made.
Yeah,
I refuse to believe that that's how things are made.
yeah, because they add it all in post production. Like saying like Evil Dead, where like there's a difference between how they sound walking in the forest and how they sound walking in the cabin. It's like it's not done live. It's like they
refuse to believe that. Like
they shoot the footage as it is, and they just record the audio of the people talking, and then later post production. There's some weird guy called a Foley artist.
Some absolute freak.
Some freak who understands how sounds work properly and can like manipulate different like different effects and stuff like that.
He's a sound manipulator.
He's a sound artist.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And he can like sort of just make it sound more interesting basically. You know, he can like craft different sounds and different like sort of different textures and like ambiance, create an ambiance for the film. And this guy Gilderoy is a sound artist, and he's a British sound artist, and he's contracted to go over to Italy to work in this film called the Equestrian Vortex. So he thinks this is a horse film, you know, equestrian, it's about horses. So he brings over he has this like portfolio that he brings over, and it's like a British nature documentary, and has like these different field recordings that he's taken from just nature in Britain. It's like birds and like, you know, the fields and the fans and all that stuff. It's a very conventional kind of thing, just nature filmography basically. And he's going over to Italy to shoot this Equestrian Vortex thing. Little does he know, it's actually like a giallo horror slasher film.
Damn, shit one happens.
Yeah, these things happen. It's like cross wires. Something weird happened, and he gets over there, and he's a fish out of water, and that's the premise of the film. This guy, Gilderoy, he's completely in over his head. He doesn't really understand what exactly is going on. And this is set in the 70s and the 80s, so he has very limited contact with, you know, like his agent or like the people in the film production in England. He can't really verify who exactly he's working for in Italy either. He doesn't know who these people are. He doesn't really know.
Is he in a giallo film?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. You just guess the end pretty much. But and he doesn't really like horror. So that's a weird thing about it. But the people are really insist on that he works on it because they have great admiration for his work. And all the while he's kind of communicating in letters with his mom back home, and she's talking about these birds that have like kind of nested in his garden, and that's a recurring thing throughout the film. As he gets more involved in the process of making the film, his psychological state starts to deteriorate or kind of assimilate with the film itself and with like the psychosphere of this film production, which is rapidly kind of unraveling. And he's working with this really demanding producer and this really perverted director. You know, they're Italians and stuff. They're like, they're all like, they're really passionate and fiery. And he's just a little British man, and he's like, oh, I just want to go home, you know.
Just one of my sounds.
I'm just really good at sounds. Yeah, that's all. That's his only thing. And he's working with these recording artists who are just they're scream queens basically. Before that was a thing, so they work basically perfecting the screams and doing voiceovers for sequences which are like harder to record live or, on set. Like, so their whole thing is they literally sit in a booth and scream and get the perfect scream. And there's like a specific director making sure that it sounds as kind of like appealing as possible. Because like the sound design in the film is actually obviously extremely good.
I'm imagining it's good. It would want to be good.
yeah, because it takes you through these different sounds and shows you how like the difference between them and how it affects like how that can like.
It seems like a film that's about filmmaking.
Yeah, definitely. Because It's in that tradition of like British films that are like kind of like, it's like almost like a meta text. It's like censor, you know, and you have like different examples. They're like demanding more from the viewer. And so we're just trying to stimulate your thought process, because you have these sounds and it's kind of like, it's showing you how different sounds and different kind of inflections and different kind of accentuations can change how you perceive an image.
Yeah.
So even like the screams itself, like you can, like by the end of the film, you're like, you can tell what's a good scream and what's like an unappealing scream. It's like, like you're not this girl isn't made, she's not cut out to be a scream queen. She's just, she doesn't have it. She's too hoarse or something like that, you know. And there's other stuff in it about like, because in Britain or in the BBC they had like the British or the BBC Radiophonic Workshop, I think it was called, which is like a pioneering institution of like electronic music in the 60s and 70s. And they did loads of stuff, pretty much everything you can think of in terms of like random soundscapes from iconic soundscapes from British TV. They were usually behind it, like Doctor Who and stuff.
Yeah.
Just like kind of the whirring and like the dialect, like they pioneered all those sounds.
Did you hear? Sorry, just a quick one. Did you hear who might be the next Doctor Who?
No.
James Corden is leaving the Late Late Show.
Nah, stop.
Could be James Corden.
Nah, it's not gonna be him. Why would he leave that for Doctor Who?
The money must be good. I don't know. Don't know. But yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently.
That would kill the franchise, wouldn't it?
Is it not already dead?
I don't know. I don't really watch Doctor Who.
I don't know anyone who does.
James Corden, though, that would kill that institution, you know.
So
unless they're trying to properly break into America, you know.
Yeah.
Because he kind of
is probably why.
He kind of has that wrapped up, doesn't he?
That's probably why. Yeah, as you're saying. But the sounds.
Yeah. Sounds. Yeah, this guy, Skilderoy, and he's mad into his sounds. And slowly, his psychological state is slowly unraveling. And I think it's a really, I've only heard really amazing things about this film previous to watching the film. It's like one of Mark Kermode's favorite films. And this guy,
you said that a lot about a lot of films.
I have, yeah. Because he does have good taste. But there's
the other one that like you're just like, what are you?
You don't like him, do you? You're not a fan.
Nah, not really. Like sometimes I'm like, 100%, bro. Like I agree with that. And other times it's like, I'm not too sure about that one, Marco.
yeah. Because like, usually I think he's always right in terms of like, if he recommends a film, it is good. And if he really doesn't like a film, then I'm almost always kind of in agreement with him.
I don't really listen to him enough.
I just like if I read about a film,
if I want to know about like a British film, I'll look up his review for it.
Yeah, I just usually get recommended his reviews on YouTube and stuff.
Fair.
But like, there's also, he has like weird, they're not even blind spots. He just like his own like little pet, his pet sounds, his pet like films that he just loves, and it's like he has these. It's just these genres and these micro genres that just really appeal to him. Like his favorite film of all time is The Exorcist, which I just don't really get.
Yeah, which is a weird one.
I just don't really get. Like, because it's a great film, but I just don't get why he thinks that's the best film of all time. And he's like obsessed with it for some reason. But he thought Berberian Sound System Sound Studio was like incredible. One of the best films of 2010s. One of the best British films of the century. Like, you know. But I don't agree.
Is it the sound thing? Like, does he just really like sound in films?
I don't think so, no.
Because I feel like Exorcist is a real sound film.
Oh, it is, yeah. Like, you know, the soundtrack and all was done by, who was it? Jack Nietzsche or something.
Like, I watched like Exorcist a while ago. I was like, yes, similar thing. I was like, yeah, this is like objectively a really good film.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But like, your favorite film, really?
Is it the best film of all time?
Is it the best film of all time?
I don't think so.
It's Jaws, but like it's kind of like a Jaws thing. I think it's better than Jaws. I think it's better than most of those films. But it's also kind of like, I don't know. It is really good though. It is really, really good.
It is really good.
It's that vibology thing. Yeah. You know?
I think it is. I just wouldn't say it's the best film of all time.
Yeah,
I just disagree with him on that.
Yeah.
I disagree with him on Berberian Sound Studio. Because the thing is, it has three parts basically. It's quite similar to Censor. Because we talked about Censor before, where it has the first two acts, and it's not a conventional horror film. It's a conventional British horror film, and it plays along in that kind of way, which is unconventional in its own way, but also you've seen it kind of set up before. You don't know where it's going. It's intriguing. Yeah. And it's really well produced, and it's really cool, and the idea is really cool, and it's really eerie, and you're not sure where it's going or what's going to happen. And then the third part it just kind of it just doesn't really go anywhere.
That's a similar thing with censor, though. And I feel like that's a similar thing with, like, a lot of British horror films. Like, a lot of them... Because I rewatched, like, Kill List a while ago. And I was like...
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's like a similar thing here as well. It's like, it doesn't really go... Like, it goes somewhere, but it doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's no resolution, really, to any of it. And that's a similar thing with censor as well.
It just kind of meanders...
And
towards the end.
Kill List does does meander, but I like Kill List a lot.
Oh yeah, like I think I'd rank them similarly. Like Kill List, Berberian Studio, even Censor. I'd rank them similarly enough.
Is it a real cold film as well?
No, not really.
Because I think like that kind of like there's something. I think Censor also is it's like eerie and cold.
In what sense? Like technically, or
not even technically? There's just like a dampness to everything. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. There's real ambiance.
Yeah.
I guess.
The ambiance in this is just kind of like it's just eerie. It's just a horror film, basically psychological horror film, and it has elements of Videodrome, which you mentioned when we first talked about this before the podcast. We do a little breakdown before we get on.
We do a little catch up, you know.
Yeah, but
tell each other how our weeks went.
Yeah. We start recording. We don't talk at all. We just start recording. But no, it has elements of like even Peeping Tom. Maybe there's weird kind of elements of Peeping Tom. We had this kind of loner character who was just really involved in his art. But there's something off in his head.
Yeah.
And then you have the Videodrome thing of like someone who becomes his art or is becoming involved in a medium to the extent that he is the medium itself, almost, in that kind of way.
Yeah, the two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And he's
in a way.
Yeah.
Immediately backing track. I'm kind of backing out of that point that is made.
Beep, beep, beep. No, but he goes, as his kind of psychological state is unraveling, it becomes really unclear what is actually happening to him in real life and what is actually happening in the film. Yeah. Like he has this kind of dream sequence where it's a film that where he is in the film and he suddenly speaks perfect Italian and he's communicating, because half films in Italian because they're just speaking as Italians, and he has this dream sequence where he can also speak Italian but like the voice is synced off like in a film that hasn't been properly, like, I don't know, transcripted or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And that goes on for a few minutes.
I hate when that happens when I'm using an illegal site.
Yeah. And that goes on for a few minutes, and then it just cuts back, and it's like it's made clear that this was in his head. But then it goes back into that again, and it seems to be sort of moving into a cyclical thing where maybe he's trapped and he's not sure how to get out. Yep. And there's this whole recurring thing throughout it where he's trying to claim reimbursement for his flight over to Italy off the production company.
It's like Kafkaesque as well.
Yeah. And there's this whole... you just know this film without even watching it.
Oh man, I can picture this film. I've seen this film without having seen this film. Like, I know exactly what you're describing. Like, I can picture this film entirely.
Yeah, that's one of the kind of the disappointing things about it, really. Because I thought something else was going to happen. But basically there's this thing where he's trying to reclaim his the money he paid for the flight fare, and he can't get it because he goes to the secretary of the production company. She's like, "That's not my department, go to the producer," and he's like, "That's not my department, go to this person," and they're like, "Go to the secretary," and he's going around, and he reaches a breaking point. He's trying to be real tough because he's such a timid character, and it doesn't work, and he's kind of humiliated.
Man, that is like every single fucking British film.
And then it becomes apparent. He goes back again. And there's this weird scene where they're like, that flight never existed. We checked up with the airline. There was no flight that day. And he has this kind of weird moment where he's like what's real? Are they just trying to sort of scam me out of my money, or is based on everything else that's happening around him? Am I just going insane or something like that? Yeah. But that's basically that's the last third of the film. Yeah. Where it's very confused what exactly is going on. And they have that debate. I watched the Mark Kermode review, and they have that debate where the guy, his fucking foil, Mayo, or whatever his name is, he's like, I didn't really get the last part. Like, there's no real flourish at the end. And Mark Kermode's like, that is the flourish. Like it's like a labyrinthine kind of horror. The horror of being trapped in this kind of like a psychological.
But I've seen that like 1,000 times.
I know, yeah. Like I don't think like if that's the intention of the film as the last part as it exists, then I just don't think it just really didn't live up to what it could have been.
Yeah,
you know,
like it's so weird because like as you're describing, like this sounds really cool. It also sounds mad. Like I've seen this film. Like every like Double. I watched Double a while ago. Jesse Eisenberg film.
Okay, yeah.
And like that's it's a fucking
Dostoevsky thing.
Yeah, which is also like
or Tolstoy or whatever. Yeah.
Dostoevsky, I think it is.
Yeah.
And it is like Kafkaesque as well in that sense as well. It's just like I don't know. There's something about like
it's like Enemy. Aren't those the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Enemy. It's like Censor as well. Like there's something like who's the director behind this film? What's going on? All that type of stuff. The bureaucracy and all that type of shit. There's so much bureaucracy in fucking British horror for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't fully jive with it.
Fair enough.
I think it was just kind of a letdown.
Yeah, fair.
Which is a real shame.
That is a shame. It's a mad shame. I'll tell you what wouldn't be a shame though.
What?
To try the Ringmaster's onion rings.
What?
I watched a documentary last week called The Ringmaster.
Oh shit.
Mark, you need to see this documentary.
The Ringmaster. Is this that one with Hugh Jackman?
No. This is a documentary about this guy, Larry. Can't remember Larry's second name, but Larry. And Larry makes onion rings in some place in America, whatever fucking state it is, and they're real good. They are really good onion rings. And this documentarian's like, I want to make a film about Larry making the onion rings. The only thing about Larry is that Larry is a very particular kind of person in the sense that there is, like, Larry doesn't want to do anything but make onion rings. He doesn't do anything else but make onion rings. He has no aspirations to do anything more than make onion rings in this, like, just like, he just makes these onion rings in like a regular restaurant. It's not like they're famous onion rings. He's got no interest in expanding it whatsoever. He doesn't really even care. It's just like customer service and all that type of stuff. Yeah. There's a moment in the film where someone hands Larry a check because the documentarian realizes there is no story here. Yeah. And I've put way too much money into this for there not to be a story. So he starts forcing them to. He starts to force a story into it, but it would be like, Larry, we're gonna get you to be a sponsor for this like race thing. I can't remember what it's called. And Kiss, the band, Kiss.
Yeah.
They're gonna try your onion rings, and Larry's like, oh, cool. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Like he does not care. He has no interest whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like fully understand what's going on as well. And his sister's also like encouraging it because she wants to be famous essentially. And at a certain point in this film, the documentary team turn on the guy that's making the film, and they're like, yeah, we realized halfway through that like this can be basically, he's like, this can be like a story about how to not make a documentary when like you get way too involved into your narrative that, like, where there is none, things don't go okay. Like this
really?
Oh my god,
it sounds really interesting.
It's really.
Where did you hear about this?
I was listening to another podcast and they mentioned it. I was like, I'm gonna listen to that. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
And then I watched it. I was like, wow, that was deeply upsetting.
Oh really?
Oh my god! Like, there's a bit in the film where like Larry is given, the type of person Larry is, right? He's given a check by a fella for like 50 grand or something like that, and he's like, this is the first installment of like this deal that we're gonna do together. Are you down for like working? Like we can start this tomorrow. And Larry's response is, and like that's more money than Larry's like basically ever had in his entire life, more or less. Like not to that extent, but like, you know, in terms of a paycheck, that's the most he's ever seen. And his response is, but I can't miss work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like he does not want to do this. And the documentarian like kind of like exploits him and like forces there, and he's an ex. It's revealed at the start of the film that he's an ex gambling addict.
The Larry is.
No, the documentarian.
Oh, right, yeah.
So like, oh, did you just become obsessed with this story and you started spending loads of money because you wanted to make the perfect? He's just like, I need Larry to have a perfect ending, But
Yeah.
Larry doesn't have a story to even start with.
Is he in control of the documentary?
The documentarian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's like full.
Like, did he producing? Like,
yeah, he realized that. I
released
think
it
at the end of the film, they realized like, yeah, there's a way more interesting story about how I'm a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Yeah.
like he more or less says that at the end. He's like, yeah, and like Larry does not make onion rings anymore.
What?
Like, by the end of this film, you're like, Larry's not making onion rings anymore
Oh.
because of.
Fuck.
Like, not because of what happened in this film, but Jesus, it fucking adds a sour note onto the entire film that this is that this happened to him.
Yeah. Just someone who's happy with what he's doing.
Yeah, completely happy.
No desires to expand.
No,
Why? Why would you want
Larry
to expand?
just is how I was in the podcast they described it. Larry just is.
He just is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's real. That's actually really deep.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really.
You
profound.
should watch it, man. You'd really like it.
Yeah.
And it's very
He
good.
just is.
He just
like,
is.
why would you want to expand?
Yeah.
You know, that's like a thing. Like, oh, you should because
But
you
like-
can make money.
but
But
like
like, why would you?
You're like, but you're like, you
What's
as the
the
viewer, like kind of like, yeah, like why wouldn't you? But then you're just like, you can see like the effects that it has on
Yeah.
Larry, and you're like, Jesus, yeah, like you don't actually need to do that. Like
He's
if you're
perfectly
happy
happy.
as you are, just stick what you're
He's
doing.
perfectly happy. That actually sounds really cool.
I'd recommend
That's
The Ringmaster.
The Ringmaster.
Yeah. If you can you have my
That's-
VPN, don't you?
Yeah.
So if you go on to Tubi TV, Tubi TV, and set yourself to America, you can watch it there. It's very good. Very, very good.
That's gas. Larry Lang.
Larry Lang, yeah. Larry Lang. The onion rings look fucking class, man.
I don't
Oh
even
my
like
God.
onion rings.
Like, we got asked a question later on that I'm not going to answer it now, but like, what films have like the best food? These onion rings, man. I need to try those onion rings.
Yeah.
Like, they look unreal.
Mm.
And Kiss liked them. Everyone in Kiss liked it.
Kiss. Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I love like weirdo middle America stories.
Mm.
And this is kind of in that vein. Just like these mental stories that just happen in America.
Mm. Yeah, I remember watching this film called Jeff Town. Ever watched that?
No.
Or did I talk about it before?
No, I don't think so.
It's about this guy called Jeff Town, and he lives in this place in America. He has like Down syndrome, but it's about how he's like how people feel sorry for him and treat him as like
Mm-hmm.
like as like, you know, they try to accommodate his disability, but in that way kind of like not like dehumanize him, but like kind of condescend to
Stigmatize
him.
him and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
condescend to him. But the whole film is basically about how Jeff Town is like the villain, and he's like abusing people's sympathy for him and using it like to his own gains. He's like scamming people out of money and stuff, and going around like living his, and he's like he pretends to be more disabled than he is. Like he pretends to not understand what people are talking about, but in reality he's just he's fully aware. He's just like he's completely fine, fully functioning member of society.
Is it a film or documentary?
It's a documentary. It's a real story. Yeah. this guy called Jeff Town. He only died recently as well. It's very short as well. It's like an hour long. I think it's on YouTube. And it's just a really funny, because it's the same thing where I think the people went into it with a different idea of what the end would be. But then the story kind of took its course naturally as it does in real life, and it wasn't what it seems, because he's not what people perceive him to be.
Yeah.
He's like something entirely different.
He's an evil genius.
Yeah, basically. he's like does heroin and stuff. Like he like hires prostitutes. Like there's all these crazy things that people are like, Jeff's so innocent. He's such a nice guy. He's always happy, you know.
That's
but like
so funny.
He has this dark side to him. It's a very funny documentary.
Jeez, I have to check that out.
Yeah, but just crazy stories like that.
Yeah, just weird America.
Yeah,
it's just weird America.
Yeah.
There's something about the place. I don't know what it is. Just something about it.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. And like the Ringmaster is like one of those things. Do you ever see iDubbbz has a YouTube video about this guy called Airsoft Fatty?
Yeah.
did you ever
Man,
see
we
that?
watched that
Yeah,
on the couch
yeah,
together.
yeah. I forgot about that.
I watched that at work as well in full.
Man,
that's such a funny documentary.
Jesus, it's
Airsoft
fucking,
Fatty. It's so good.
It's so good. But
So
like
good.
similar thing as well. It's like, man, there's just something about America that's really fucking weird.
Yeah, there's something seriously wrong with like just how it's set up. There's just like, or maybe there's something good about that. It just creates these absolute characters.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or not. I don't think Airsoft Fatty's in a good place, but
he seems to be. But he same
he
thing
seems
as
to be
Larry.
pretty happy.
Same as Larry Lang. He just is. He's happy what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know.
But he's also really toxic to all his friends.
Yeah.
All his friends end up hating him and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, was it too much force when he's doing the
Yeah, he used full force.
full force?
Yeah,
Don't
that's
go
the-
full force.
That's the name of the documentary.
Yeah,
Full
yeah,
Force.
full force.
But like, you
That's
meet
such a
Robert,
funny documentary.
like Robert as well. Jesus. Like
Yeah.
when they meet Robert, that film takes a fucking like YouTube video, but like
Yeah.
episode. Whatever
That's a
the fuck.
documentary.
It's a
yeah.
documentary.
That's serious documentary.
Yeah, when that documentary goes to that stage of like meeting Robert, you're like, oh, there's something really wrong
something
here.
off. Yeah.
Like, is it like when he pulls out the knife?
yeah.
It's just like, oh Jesus, like there's like, because I feel like throughout that entire documentary, they're like, yeah, these people are like really underfunded, and like they don't really have that much to do. And then you meet Robert, and you're like, oh Jesus, yeah, this is what can happen when people don't have the support systems that they need.
Yeah. This guy's just alone out there
Mm.
doing whatever he wants. Like,
Mhm.
you know. It's
Yeah.
very weird.
Yeah.
That's a hilarious documentary though. I want to watch that again.
Very good.
I forgot that was a thing.
I did it for like 45 minutes as well.
Yeah, it's very short.
Yeah. Ringmaster's only an hour and a half, an hour and 20.
Yeah. I know.
So-
Actually, we'll have to stick that on the
Give it a go.
watcher.
Give it a go. Shall we go for a break?
We'll go for a wee songs. And now for our recommended film of the week, Paprika by Satoshi Kon. This is a 2006 film.
I was gonna say, I was like 2006.
This is a 2006 film by the famous Satoshi Kon, who also directed Perfect Blue, which we did for episode 3 on Anime Power Hour.
Go
If
back.
If you haven't listened to that, please go back and listen.
We also talk about Tokyo Godfathers on this podcast.
We
as
did.
Well, a while
We
ago.
did indeed.
Christmas episode. Go back to that one as well.
It's all in there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But
Lore is there.
the lore is all there. Both those films are also featured in this film.
Mm-hmm.
We'll discuss that now in a bit. This is a film about a battle between a dream terrorist who steals a device that allows others to share their dreams and causes nightmares for people, and a research psychologist who enters the dream world and changes into Paprika, a dream detective, to investigate the cases.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically it.
It's basically it in its most simplified way of describing the plot. Because like,
Well, there's actually a better plot synopsis here, but
yeah, but we can't be asked. We started.
we've already done it.
We've already done it. We did the plot summary. We named what year the film came out. We named the director. Let's go.
We need to name the characters though.
We do need to name the characters. There's Chiba.
Dr. Atsuko Chiba,
Mhm.
who is the psychologist who also
Mhm.
turns into Paprika in the dreams.
Yes.
Yep.
Her persona.
Her persona, yep. We also have a Dr. Tokita, an obese, child-at-heart genius, an inventor of the DC Mini. The DC Mini is a device which allows you to invade the dreams of others and sort of infect them with your own ideas. It's kind of like, kind of inspired, kind of ripped off by Inception.
Yeah. Like, yeah, come on. Yeah. Like,
Similar-ish.
similar. Like, there's imagery in this film that is, like, very similar to imagery in Inception. But I think the plot is very different. There's even there's an elevator that goes between different dreams at one stage.
Yeah,
And it's like, that is just literally, like, that's
That
in
is Inception, yeah.
That is, like, and it's, like, level 14, the adventure level. like-
level 17. Oh, this means something
Mhm.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, cop, don't jump, or whatever. You know, what's her name?
Maul.
Maul. Why is her name Maul? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. And it
that's meaning.
has meaning.
Some kind of meaning.
It definitely. I think we talked about this
We
before.
did talk about this, yeah.
But like, even when I was watching this film, you know, it is very similar. Not very similar, but it is similar enough to Inception. But I was sitting there, I was like, God, I need to watch Inception again.
Really?
I think Inception is like one of the best blockbusters.
Oh, yeah, I watched it like last year. I thought it was really good.
Mm.
I really liked Inception.
Yeah,
I
same.
always have.
Yeah, same.
Thought it's really good.
It's like, I remember watching that film for the first time, but like, that was lethal.
Yeah. I was the exact same. A great cinema experience.
And like, even because I don't think I fully understood, like, I got the gist of like, yeah, like I get what was going on, but like the action and stuff like that was just fucking mental.
Mm.
In a similar vein, the first time that I watched Paprika, I was like, yeah, I kind of enjoyed like the imagery and stuff like that. But like to a worse extent, I hadn't a fucking breeze what was going on. The first time I watched Paprika, hadn't a fucking clue what was going on.
Yeah. I'm kind of in that boat as well. I'm
Yeah.
not really sure. Oh no, as I was watching it, as the imagery was being fed into my eyes. I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
It's the problem with the film that the imagery is so fucking rich and is so like you're watching this and like so Satoshi Kon is fucking mental.
Yeah, honestly, piping hot take in this podcast, especially considering what we talked about with Perfect Blue. I think this film would have been better as a live action. Piping hot take here.
Yeah,
I think it could have been better as a live action because I think it's exactly what you said, echoing what you said. There's just like so much going on in terms of imagery, but then the plot is also really convoluted. It's kind of hard to follow.
Yeah.
I think it would have been maybe simpler live action.
But I think though, like maybe it would have been simpler live action. But like part of the thing about this film is like the imagery is class, and like on a rewatch, like this film makes complete sense if you on a rewatch. It does make complete sense.
Yeah.
And there is like a very easy, like it's actually a pretty simple enough plot of them just jumping between dreams and being like, oh god, it's a similar thing, right? Ghost in the Shell is like an anime classic. And in a similar thing, towards the end of that film, it just starts going into these like bigger concepts and just like even still more or less completely loses me. Like I'm having a fucking breeze. I've seen that film like 3 times. Having a fucking breeze is going on by the end of the film.
Yeah.
But like at least with Paprika, I'm like, okay, the grand concepts make a lot more sense. Especially because I'm watching this and I can see what it's influenced. In terms of Inception, in terms of there's this video game called Persona. It's like I played Persona 5, and there's bits in this that are just like that's basically a similar concept to Persona 5, which came out fucking like 16 years after this film came out, or like 10 years after, whatever.
Yeah.
So like that knowing what has referenced this film made this film more easy to understand what the fuck it's going on about.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Yeah, no, Paprika is actually pretty easy to follow if you have like, because I just it was just
wiki.
Yeah, that's literally it. Like it was hard to follow as it was. It was hard to digest in the moment, but I just had Wikipedia open to clarify exactly what was going on.
It's a very indigestible film.
Yeah, it's very it leaves you constipated with ideas and imagery.
Yeah,
but I also had, I don't know if this was a problem. I watched this subbed. Or no, sorry, not subbed, dubbed.
See, right.
I watched this dubbed.
I did this. I think my first time I watched this, I watched it dubbed as well.
Yeah, honestly,
and I don't know if it's because of the dub. Because watching it like sub, it was like this makes complete sense. Like, because maybe it's because I'm reading what they're saying, and you have to like you're actually taking in what they're saying.
Yeah.
I think that might be part of it.
I think every film is better subbed, even if you understand what they're saying. I leave subtitles on
all the
for
time.
Everything.
Subtitles on all the time
for everything. Yeah.
But and like I'm not even joking. If I'm not in a cinema and I'm at home and there's no subtitles, having a fucking breeze when anyone's saying.
Yeah.
I've just gotten that stage like I can't hear what they're saying.
Yeah. Even if it's like a Simpsons episode where I could like quote directly every line, I leave on the subtitles just for a backup if I'm eating. Yeah. You know. But I hated the voice performances. I thought they were all terrible. They're all terrible.
I thought the similar thing.
They're just absolutely terrible. I think the guy who did Ben 10 voiced Atsuko or whatever her name is.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, somehow it's the guy who did Ben 10.
Yeah.
It was absolutely terrible. It was I could have done a better voice performance. Honestly, I think I could have done a better performance. Except for I don't know how he put on a woman's voice, but I could have done a better performance.
Maybe is Ben 10 voiced by a woman? Are you sure?
No, it's a guy called Yuri Lowenthal.
Oh right.
Oh wait, sorry, no, the fat guy was Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeah.
Sorry, but anyway, Atsuko's performance was fucking terrible, absolutely terrible. I have to say.
Fair enough.
I also did not like the fat guy. I thought he was really annoying.
Yeah,
I found him extremely annoying.
Yeah, because like
Takeda.
Yeah, there's some stuff in the film that I'm like, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I found him disgusting, and not in like a cute way either.
But like that's the point, though.
I suppose.
It's the point. And then it's like, it's not about what matters on the outside. It's about love on the inside.
Yeah.
More or less. Because they do get married at the end, don't they?
Yeah, they get married, yeah.
Maybe lost weight or something. Because she does say, like, looks, what matters inside can only go so far. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he slimmed down or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe, or maybe he just didn't and she just loves him for who he is.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah. What's your overall diagnosis? What do you think of the film?
It's just a film about dreams, isn't it? Like dreams in a lot of different senses. I don't know if this because you watched the dubbed. I don't know if this was in in that version, but in the sub version, there's just like little, like just nuggets just like launched at you like every few scenes and stuff like that, which is just like 2006. You know, he's already made a film about like social media and personas. Well, it's not about social media, but personas and fame and stuff like that, which just like ended up matching perfectly onto, you know, the horrors of the internet essentially, and has been like really, really well applied to that. But like in this, there's like all the stuff about like technology. This like the path of technology moving forward is all a dream, in a sense that like it's in the hopes and in the pursuit and in the dreams of making a better world. And there's like a little reference to that with like the internet. It's like the internet's like can be like your pure subconscious. It's like the algorithm will feed you what you want, and if you don't like that, well, the algorithms the algorithms don't work perfectly, obviously, but that idea that like, you know, and it, like your pure subconscious could be seen just by like seeing what you do on the internet and stuff like that.
And the idea that of like who, you know, obviously the algorithm can't be completely agnostic or like this completely objective tool. Like who controls?
It's pure commodified. Like
who controls the algorithm? Who controls the DC Mini? Who's running around? Who's the dream terrorist?
Yeah, you know,
who are the dream terrorists in the world
and
today?
it's the chairman. Like it's the rich guy. It turns out to be
Inuit.
And like his dream is like, you know, to like basically world domination, stuff like that. There's all this stuff about like movies being dreams, which is like basically what this film is as well. It's like, I think this is Satoshi Kon's last film.
It is, yeah. He died in 2010.
Yeah, so this is the last thing that he made, and it's like it's a film about dreams. It's a film about like making your dreams a reality. Like the way that the mini thing, what the fuck it's called, works.
DC Mini.
The DC Mini works is that like it records people's dreams like a film, and they even say like, oh yeah, when you're deep REM, REM. Yeah, I was thinking of the band. I was like, yeah, the band is REM.
Yeah.
Same thing. Those dreams play out like films, and you remember them really vividly, which is like, that is exactly what deep dreams are like. You know, when you wake up and you're like, oh, that fucking dream was mental. Like, you can remember like the arc of the dream essentially and stuff like that. Like this film like is about that as well and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, the mental dream at the start, or when you know, the little scientist, what's his name? Give me a second here, actually. Shima. You know the little fella, Shima.
Yeah.
He goes on. It's like kind of when things kick off, when they're first talking about the DC Mini.
Yeah.
And he goes on this mad rant that makes absolutely no sense. He's talking about refrigerators leading a marching band and stuff like that. And then suddenly, and he jumps out of a window, and he nearly kills himself. But then you have these scenes, this dream sequence, which as the film progresses slowly becomes more and more central to the plot, and becomes more and more assimilated into real life. But it's the central dream sequence where you have all these completely disparate, like completely irrelevant, absolute nonsense on screen. It's like a soldier, a medieval soldier, and a samurai, and a giant teddy bear, and like a refrigerator dancing and singing in like a conga line,
like frogs playing drums down the mariachi band and stuff like that. Whatever, I
was like, what the fuck is going on here?
See, that's the point where the film like immediately like it can lose you right there and then. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's like, oh, this is just the dream that he's having. But like if you don't really catch that, the film does say it, but if you don't catch that 100%, you're basically gonna be lost for the rest of this film.
Because it doesn't change. It's not like like a harp plays and then it's like a fucking clouded kind of vignette effect on the screen. It just cuts to it. It just cuts to it and it looks the same as the rest of the film. But it just looks, it's just like it's completely nonsense. Like in the same way that like actual dreams are, where they're like complete. It's just all these different artifacts and signs that are just taken from random points
in the person's life.
Yeah, that you perceive them in your life. And they're just thrown together in this mad hodgepodge of a narrative.
Like figure yourself out. Be Freudian analyze yourself there, pal. It's like what all the characters basically do. They just analyze their dreams. Like, oh yeah, I need to come to terms with like this or whatever. Shiba does that, and the cop character, more explicitly the cop character.
Yeah, Konakawa.
Yeah, he just like comes to the fact that like, it's okay that you didn't want to make films, you wanted to become a cop. Forgive yourself.
Yeah, I thought he was the most interesting character.
Yeah.
I thought he was the best.
But like,
he was the main character in this, would you say?
Paprika.
Is she though?
Like her and Shiva are basically the main character.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Perfect Blue in that sense actually as well, except there's more of a there's more synthesis between Shiva and Paprika, where like Paprika's the like dream agent persona that she puts on to be able to figure this stuff out. It's like the therapist wall that she needs to put on.
Yeah. The therapist pantsuit, yeah.
Yeah. It's like in Sopranos.
yeah. But I thought Kanekawa was the coolest. Yeah, he had the coolest kind of backstory, you know.
Yeah,
the films and all. He's trying to figure himself out.
Mm-hmm.
But he also has a big hard on for Paprika.
Yeah.
For some reason.
She's a huge one.
Because she's invaded his dreams.
Yeah, she's the girl of his dreams.
Literally, yeah.
Literally. And then when he sees Shiva for the first time, he's like, music starts playing, and he's talking to the other scientist, but he just keeps looking at her and asking her questions, but the other guy keeps answering. He's like, he's not paying attention at all, and she just turns to be like, you're talking to him.
Yeah.
Like, look at him.
Yeah, she's mad cold. Yeah, I don't really like her. Yeah,
she's in love with thingy.
Yeah, with Takita.
Yeah,
that big fella.
The big fella, and she's like real mean to him because she loves him.
Yeah,
down. She's real fucking mean to him.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a fucking slob.
Yeah, she just goes going, yeah, you're fat and you're a slob. You're disgusting.
Jesus.
You eat too much. It's like, what the hell?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Like, I didn't like him as a character either, but like, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, bad out.
Yeah,
bad out.
He's your colleague, first of all.
Yeah, first off.
Yeah.
I just have a few notes, which is like when, because like, the whole thing is like, the films are trying to figure out who's this dream terrorist that's like poisoning people's minds with this like the marching band basically dream. Like he's infecting people with that dream, and it's making people go mental. And they're trying to figure out who it is. But like, I have one of my notes is like, holy shit, the what the fuck is it called? The mini DS, the DC mini fused with his brain. When your man falls off the fucking like Ferris wheel, whatever, and the DC Mini's infused into his head. That was fucking awful body horror. I was like, this is so gross.
Yeah. And when Inui and Asanai are like sort of in the same body.
Yeah.
When he abducts Asanai, is this other scientist who's infatuated with Paprika, and he abducts her and holds her against her will. And there's this really disturbing scene.
It's real weird.
Which I wanted to turn off because I was like, this is just weird. It's just like an anime, but it's also just like unnecessarily like bizarre.
It is similar to the pole dancing scene, or like the kind of like the fake rape scene in Perfect Blue.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to knock this off. This is weird.
Yeah, and he like rips off her skin, and underneath is Chiba, Atsuko Chiba.
He's ripped her out of the
he's
persona.
Exposed what's underneath, the real person underneath. And but then there's like a battle between him and Inui. Like the chairman, the great mastermind behind it all. And he's like, you let your emotions take over.
Yeah.
And there's like this weird scene where they're both in the same body and they're like wrestling with each other.
Oh yeah.
It's very, very
The
bizarre.
imagery is fucking fantastic in this film. It's so good. And the way it's edited and stuff like that, like the way it just flows. Like the opening sequence of the film, like the title card kind of scene, where like Paprika jumping across from like different portraits and stuff like that. That was class. Like it's like real fluid.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently he wanted to make this straight after Perfect Blue, but it was like it was something that it wasn't allowed or something. It's based on a novel, which is apparently extremely long, and he couldn't. I
could see so.
yeah. There's a lot going on in the film.
I can see why.
So he had to make a few other films in between it, which all of them bombed apparently. Even Perfect Blue, like everything bombed, but he's so much cred.
Yeah, because they're all bangers, like.
Yeah, they're all bangers. He had so much cred that he was still allowed to make this. He was given the budget and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's had great influence, as we can see with Inception. Yeah. It's like, because Paprika's kind of like Ariadne in Inception, in a way,
Who?
The Elliot Page's character.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, very, very
just
similar.
Kind of manipulate, because it's kind of basically at the center of all the things. The key to the story, or Chiba,
Yeah, and even like the hallway and stuff like that, like moving in Paprika is very similar to the hallway turning upside down and stuff like that. Yeah. And there's and like glass shattering around like Elliot Page and Inception and Paprika in this one and stuff like that. Very, very similar imagery, but like even the thing that puts you to sleep, whatever. But they are very different films. It is just kind of imagery wise. But yeah, Paprika's good. I think it's very good.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to talk about though, because it is just like it kind of just is what it is. I like this stuff about dreams and like the different kinds of dreams, like the collective dream is something that comes into it.
Yeah. Because it is interesting in terms of like how it explores the internet, which is something that doesn't come up at all in Inception. Like Inception doesn't talk about how that, like the impact or like the sociological. Idea of how you perceive dreams.
It's like here's a cool heist film in dreams.
Yeah.
But this is like here's an
totally
exploration of dreams and technology.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's literally it. That's the perfect summation of
the
different. But yeah, no, Paprika. So have a look if you haven't had a look.
It's worth a goosey gander.
It is indeed.
You know,
and Tokyo Godfathers and Perfect Blue show up in a really subtle cameo at the end of the film.
Yes, and here's another film called Millennium Actress, which I haven't seen, but it's also meant to be very good.
And they're all showing in the cinema.
Yes, where he's going to go to the cinema to see something, another film, another dream or something.
Paprika.
He's going to go see Paprika.
I don't know.
Probably is. I'm going to say he's going to go see Paprika.
Yeah.
Which also puts into the fact that like all of these dreams, all these films are just dreams that like they're like dream projects, or whatever. But Satoshi Kon.
Yeah.
Because there's that stuff about like films and art and creating and stuff like that in the film.
He is a dream terrorist, haunting us beyond the grave.
He really is, man. He just makes bangers. I want to watch. He has a TV show called Paranoia Agent, and it's also a similar thing. It's about this like the links between all these different characters, and the one link between them all is that like they all got attacked by this like kid with a golden baseball bat, and he like cycles or fucking hell, he roller skates around, and they all get hit by him. And it's like how they're all loosely connected and stuff like that.
Oh right,
yeah.
What's it on?
It's not on anything. It's on Pirate Bay is what it is. Can't get this thing fucking anywhere.
Pirate Bay, is that still gone?
It's
one of those proxies. Yeah. That was great back in the day.
It really was. It's handy as fuck, but it's on a site somewhere.
It's in the dream cloud.
It's in the cloud. It's in the cloud. We move on to some listener questions.
Let's do it. If you want to ask us a question, you can ask us at Paro_pod on Instagram or on Twitter. You can also email us at theparopod@gmail.com.
Beautifully put. Poetic, like a dream. Our first question is coming in from Patrick, and Patrick is asking us if you could make up any IP into a Lego game, what would it be?
This is a great question.
It's a banging question.
Any IP into a Lego game?
Evil Dead. Because we're talking about it.
I think that could be cool because you have scope for a lot of sequels as well. What were the Lego games? Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Batman.
I feel like there's more. Was there a Jurassic Park one?
No, there wasn't. No. I think a Shrek Lego game that wouldn't really funk.
I mean, Star Wars is just the best one.
Oh yeah. That was like they had like the multi-packs as well, or was it all the films? There was like three films in one.
3 films in one.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Lego Star Wars, Lego Marvel Superheroes. Didn't even know that was a thing.
Nor did I.
Lego Undercover. Jesus. Didn't know that was a game either. Batman, Lego Marvel.
Oh, there is a Lego Jurassic World.
Is there?
Yeah.
Lego Lord of the Rings. There's Lego Pirates of the Caribbean.
Lego Incredibles.
Lego Movie, the video game. Lego Rock Band. Star Wars. We already said. Indiana Jones.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
There's a lot of video games. Jesus.
Serious amount of Lego video games.
Okay, so since 1995, 85 commercial video games based on Lego have been released. That's just like every Lego game, like though. But yeah, what IP would you have?
Honestly, I think maybe a Halloween Lego game where you go around and you're Michael Myers and like you hit them and they turn into like rings or whatever it was. They turn into like the
bolts, like the Lego pieces. That's a fucking show.
Yeah. It's like a
that's fun.
Kind of like a slasher.
Like a Manhunt or something like that. Remember that game?
Yeah, Manhunt.
Yeah, something like that.
That actually got banned.
Yeah. That would actually be
Yeah, then it could be unbanned if it was a Lego version.
Lego,
There's no gore.
Lego GTA.
Yeah, Lego GTA. That actually is a great. That's the best. That's the best answer by far. An open world, open sandbox Lego game.
But they have that. But like, I mean, like
They have a Lego G.
like they're like I'm pretty sure that's all, like there's like a Lego world or something like that. It's like there's like missions and stuff they have to do.
Really? Yeah.
It's all open world. You run around and stuff like that. Pretty sure that's one of the Batmans is actually that. I think the second Batman.
Because that's a great
Lego,
idea.
I think the second Lego Batman is not only fully voice acted but is like open world.
Oh yeah. Lego Worlds is a sandbox game.
There you go.
Yeah. Damn.
So
I kind of want to play that.
Damn, there's some idea. I want to play that. That sounds like fun. I want to play the new Lego Star Wars. They seem like fun. I really love the original ones.
Yeah. I remember the
So much
canteen
fun.
and all
Yeah,
really well.
real good.
The cafe, meeting up with Yoda and the boys.
Yeah. Oh man, great games.
Those were the days.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other like IPs that would be like. We talk about IPs so much.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to think of other like Texas Chainsaw, but like that's a similar thing to
Halloween.
Halloween. Any of the horror ones.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Lego GTA, Lego Halloween.
Lego Cronenberg.
Yeah, Lego Videodrome.
Yeah.
Just like, but it's like it's just like a really
Lego Twin Peaks.
that actually would be good.
Lego Twin Peaks.
But
That's my answer.
sandbox as well. It has all these mad missions. It's really well written.
It's really fucking
Really
weird.
well voiced.
Yeah.
It's like accurate. It's like it's the actual voice cast.
And the way that it like becomes mad lynching is that like it's like real people show up.
Yeah. Or it just randomly turns into a Lego game halfway through.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck? You know?
It just becomes like it just turns into a Twin Peaks TV show. Like you don't have control anymore. It's playing an episode.
Yeah, that's the next step for video games.
Yeah.
That's the real way video games could be considered art.
Mm-hmm.
If there's some kind of like switcheroo, they pull the rug from underneath the consumer. You know?
Yeah.
They completely change the game.
Yeah.
Literally into a TV show.
Yeah, this is completely just take control out of your hand. Oh god. Do you want to take the second question there?
Yeah, Sean is asking, what films have the best food?
A lot of anime has really good food in it.
Tokyo Story.
Tokyo Story, yeah. Oh my god.
Yum.
Chef.
I've never seen Chef.
Chef's fine, but like the food in it looks class. The food. Ratatouille.
Yeah, Ratatouille is nice.
Ratatouille. Like Your Name. Any of those type of really nicely animated.
Your Name.
Animes. They got real nice food in them.
Yeah, food can change the game. You know.
If you could eat one piece of fictional food, what would you eat?
One piece of fictional food.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know. Like,
well, would you love like a Krabby Patty?
I don't know. It's just a burger, isn't it?
But it's not just a burger.
It's just a burger.
It's more than that.
That's a secret formula.
Yeah,
I
you know.
suppose. Yeah, I wonder what that is. You know, try it out. Yeah, fictional food. I don't know. What would you say?
I'd love to eat one of Mario's mushrooms.
Yeah.
You know, video games have very good food in them. You know.
Do they?
Yeah, you know, there's always someone eating
Actually,
food.
I love a pint at the cantina bar in Star Wars. You know.
Yeah.
What do they serve there?
Well, yeah.
Or the butterbeer in Harry
Some
Potter.
mad fucking cocktails.
Yeah. Blow the head off.
Yeah. They fucking would.
Yeah.
Do you think zombies are bad?
Pig in space. Yeah.
I think a lot of animated stuff, because I'm just thinking like, you know, like your pizza or something in a Pixar film probably tastes real good.
What about the food and food fight? I'd love
God, no, I get food poisoning off that. Each and every one of them.
that chocolate squirrel that like sweats shit.
Yeah, I don't want to touch that. What
Yeah.
about Sausage Party?
Sausage Party? I never saw that, but it didn't seem really
There's an
appealing.
orgy at the end. Would you eat the food in that?
They all have sex. Oh, food come.
Food come. I think there's a lot of food come.
God.
I wouldn't eat any of the food in Food Fight, nor
Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, like the little. Yeah, like at the big feast.
Their
or something
banquets
like
and all.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That would be class.
That'd be class.
Yeah, or the banquet in Beowulf. just chilling while Beowulf's fighting Grendel in the background.
Yeah, just having a big fucking flag and a drink.
You just stare at the lads, yeah. Flagging,
yeah. You know those.
You're just on a Linden Village
What
bus.
No, what are those things called? Tankers or something?
Yeah, the Steiners or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the fuck they're called. Those jokes. I'm trying to think of other.
What about Alive? You know that film where they crash in the Andes? It's based on a true story. They eat human meat. They eat their passengers.
I might eat the food in Texas Chainsaw, but not that.
Yeah.
I'd like to try those.
The barbecue.
The barbecue in Texas Chainsaw.
I wonder what that's like.
Yeah, it's meant to be, according to the second film, very good.
Yeah, it's bestseller. Yeah.
You know, trying to think. I'm trying to think like would you eat? I'm trying to think of like really good food in a film, or like
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka. That's the ultimate question. That's the ultimate answer to this. Willy Wonka.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of turned off the sweet stuff, but I definitely turn it back on just for
one day.
Just to taste his sauce, you know.
Just to dunk my head into that river.
Yeah. Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah, nothing can go wrong. That film taught me that. Nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong. The Chocolate Factory. Yeah. It's a health and safety fucking utopia.
That place's claim city, like, oh my god.
Like, he makes it just dangerous enough that you can't get out of it, so you can't make a claim. Like if you get in an accident, you just die. Like,
yeah. Oh, what about the Schlurm in Futurama?
I'd say that's rotten because she just shits it out, doesn't she? Yeah.
She milks it out, I think, or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah, drink the Schlurm.
The Schlurm.
What about a fucking a Krusty Burger?
A Krusty Burger.
I say they're dirt.
I say they're horrible.
I say they're rotten.
It's like canon that they're really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. A flaming Moe. I'd love a flaming Moe.
Flaming Moe.
Because we can actually make that in real life. That's what cough syrup.
It's just lean, isn't it?
It's lean, isn't it? Yeah. It's just lean, and then you light it on fire.
Cough syrup and something.
Yeah, we could try that anyway.
We could try that. We're
try
trying to get a few
days.
flaming Moes. So we do it for the podcast. See where we go.
Oh god.
That would end in fucking bloodshed.
That would end in tears. I'll tell you that.
Well, we leave it at that.
We'll leave it there for this week. Do you have a recommended film for episode 88?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And that film is gonna be Ganja and Hess.
Sweet.
A 1973 film directed by Bill Gunn. After being stabbed with an ancient germ-infested knife, a doctor finds himself with an insatiable desire for blood. It's a cheesy little 70s horror film, apparently.
Let's do it.
It's meant to be very good. Meant to be a lot to talk about colonialism and stuff like that as well underneath the surface. So
sweet.
We'll have a wee goosey gander at that.
Let's go diving.
We shall see you all next week. Bye.